Hey everyone, Kaycie here, and today we're going to do a 60-minute yin class. The focus is going to be specifically on the lower back and into the hips, so hopefully we get some really good releasing. If you haven't done yin with me in the past, we will use props. I have 2 blocks and 2 blankets. You can use whatever you have at home. Good replacements might be books or any kind of blanket or pillow, firm pillows, soft pillows, it all works. And blankets for comfort, for warmth, whatever you'd like them for. We're gonna jump in holding our postures longer than a typical flow or more movement-based practice. So we're gonna be holding our poses anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes for each posture today. So we won't go through a ton, but we will feel a ton. So have your props somewhere nearby so they're accessible when you need them. Let's start. I'm gonna slide them over here so they're available to me. And let's go ahead and start off on our backs. We're gonna come into a position called reclined bound angle, Supta Baddha Konasana. So I would suggest grabbing both of your blocks. If you would like a blanket nearby, cushion for your head, underneath your body, draped over your body, you can definitely do that. Otherwise, as I come down onto my back, soles of the feet together, knees open wide. And I'm gonna first just kind of let my knees drop into that first initial space. So this is kind of where I'm checking my flexibility for the day. And right now, that's where my legs naturally stop. So as I place my blocks, I don't wanna pull myself out of the stretch too much because today we do wanna feel a stretch, but we wanna have a supported stretch. So it's not continuously just falling deeper and deeper, it's supported in that position where our bodies can really just open up and relax. So take your blocks at any height that is suitable. I want you to just start to slide them under to support underneath the knees or thighs or whatever is right there waiting to be supported. You might feel a difference in your sides. If you do, just be accommodating. But once again, you're supporting your body in the stretch. Nice, that's kind of perfect for me here. I'm not gonna use any blankets, but feel free to use them on your own. I'll give plenty of options for y'all. Arms drop away from the body. Nice and heavy. Let your eyes sink back, relax your jaw, soften your entire face. All the facial muscles. And just start to arrive in this position a little more clear, a little more present. Notice any tension you're still carrying with you from your day. Notice any thoughts that seem important, relevant. Notice your energy level as you rest here on the ground. And wherever you are, whatever version of yourself that is here right now, practicing, allow it to be exactly as it is. Allow your body to just feel how it feels. And based on how it feels, running that assessment, not for judgment, but for better understanding of ourselves, so that as we move through this practice, we can accommodate and we can help our bodies to bring in more support or more release, whatever it is that it's needing. All based on this self-awareness, this moment of reflection, feeling into the body's sensations. And to help us drop in just a little bit deeper, let's all exhale and just let everything out. Through the nose, big breath right into the belly. Feel it open up nice and full. Holding. Open your mouth, exhale, sigh. A full surrender through your breath. Let it feel more natural in its pace, coming back into its own rhythm. Try to keep the breath through the nose. And imagine like a baby breathing through the belly. Diaphragmatic breath, breathing through the diaphragm, feeling more expansive rather than just breathing into the chest. Notice yourself becoming a little more calm, more relaxed, less effort, more enjoyment of the moment. Now we're going to add on as a potential to this position. If you want to just stay, please honor your body and stay. Otherwise, just little bits of movement in your fingers and toes, just feeling more awakened space. Allow any room for messages to come through from your body. Okay, once again, stay here or gently start to lift your right knee towards your chest. So as it lifts up, start to pull it in and then use your hands maybe to hold on to the knee, shin, or thigh. Start to draw the knee closer towards the chest. Okay, so even though you're using your hands, I want you to find as little effort through the arms and shoulders as possible. And so you could find a point where essentially gravity is doing all of the work for you. Relax through your toes, your ankles. Try not to keep them flexed. We want to disengage the muscles in yin. Instead of the other practices where we're used to activating, engaging, clenching, soften here. Soften all the muscles so we can relax into the joints. And allow our bodies to feel more of that deep sense of surrender. Now we're going to take about 10 more breaths here, but if you want to take it one step further, if half happy baby feels accessible, you can reach your right arm through the inside of the right leg and hold on to the foot or anywhere along the leg. Now, if I hold on to my foot, naturally it's going to pull my left knee up a little bit higher so it lifts away from the block. If that's the case for you too, slide the block in a little bit closer to still offer that support through the thigh bone. If you want to adjust it higher and support higher towards the knee, you can do that as well. Perfectly fine. Once again, try to release some effort through that right arm, through the shoulder. And just imagine all the muscles are just kind of hanging here. It doesn't matter what variation you're in. You can come into half happy baby, the knee can just be into your chest, or you're still just in that butterfly position. Slow breath through the nose, down to your bellies. No rush here. 3 more breaths. Now, if you have a hold of your foot, bend the knee, release. If you have a hold of the knee, release, set the foot down to the ground. Let the soles of the feet come back together, knees open up wide, and feel free to readjust your blocks. Now, you may need to readjust the blocks simply for the fact that maybe you're opened up a little bit deeper and you can move into that next threshold. So finding those little adjustments. In this practice, we're not moving quickly, we're not rushing to the next thing. We're just allowing presence and to connect with ourselves. So this time, we're gonna keep the left leg. We're gonna keep the right leg, and let's lift the left knee up, slowly drawing it towards the chest. Hands can reach and grab a hold of the knee, the shin, or the thigh. Once again, if you want to just stay in butterfly, stay in butterfly. Otherwise, drawing the knee in, and then relax your ankles, relax your legs. Take the tension out of your shoulders, out of your face, out of your arms. And just find the stretch that you can release into without any effort, force, or control. Fully letting go. Notice where the mind wanders. Naturally it will. Just bring yourself back. Let yourself be more present right here, right now. And if you want to stay, stay. Otherwise, slowly moving into that half happy baby. Reach the left hand through the inside of the leg, grabbing foot or anywhere along the way. And feel free to adjust that right block, supporting that leg if it's lifted. Only make the adjustments that you need to. And then scanning over the body every time we make those little adjustments and recognizing what areas may have fallen out of alignment or which areas became a little more tense and tightened. So realistically, in yin, we do want to set the postures up correctly. But the alignment, we let that go a little bit more once we're in the position and let the body just kind of sink into their natural shapes. At least 5 more breaths. Slow it down. All right. Last breath. If you do have the foot, gently release. If you have the knee, letting go, let the foot touch to the ground, soles of the feet together, knees open up wide, make those adjustments once again, and we're gonna hold for 2 slow breaths. So once that edge has been established, you should feel really at that peak here. Slow exhale. And then deep breath in, open up through your belly, all the way up to your ribs and chest. Open your mouth, exhale, sigh it all the way out. Again, slow breath in, gather the breath to the top. And open the mouth and release. Now we're not going to rush out of this. Use the hands, bring them to the outsides of your legs, and use the hands to help lift the knees back towards each other. So we're not just engaging the muscles from that really opened position. We're giving a little assistance so we're not putting any strain into the body. Separate the feet, rock the knees side to side, or any movements that call to you more naturally. So as you can see, we're already, a quarter of the way through the class, and we haven't gone through that many postures. So we'll keep it moving to target as much as we can here. All right, knees back to center. You're only going to need one block for the next one. So if you want to set one of them out of your way completely, go for it. Your block is going to be at one of the two settings I'm going to offer to you. So first setting will be flat, or as I like to say, block on its belly, right? Now this is going to be the lower variation, but it's still really nice and therapeutic on the back. Next variation, I like to say, is on its side, or some people refer to it as the toaster setting, okay? It kind of looks like little toaster size. That has a little bit more lift. Now, the last variation has the most lift, but if you want to take this, you're more than welcome to take this variation standing tall. It is a little intense, especially in the very beginning of this practice, so I would recommend the first two, but if this is more appropriate for you, you know your body best, okay? We will adjust it to one of the lower two settings after about 3 minutes. So bend the knees and walk the feet in towards the hips. Feet approximately hips width, but you can find what's appropriate for your body. Begin to lift the hips up away from the ground. And as the hip points lift, you're going to naturally feel a separation between the backside of your body and the ground. You just want to fill that space. So maybe that's your toaster setting, maybe that's laying on its belly, maybe that's bringing it all the way up to its tallest setting, okay? I'm going to kind of pick the mid setting here today. You pick what feels right for you. And it's filling that space so that as you lift up, your body's not sinking too far back down to be supported by the block, right? That's a little too low. Maybe we have it support us right at that point or slightly up a little bit higher so we can settle into that point. But you can feel it out and find that variation. So I'm going to test out that higher setting, see how it feels. Exactly how I thought, a little intense right now. So I'm going to drop it back down. Find what works. And if altogether the block or whatever you're using at home, books or anything, feels too uncomfortable, bring a blanket or something on top of it. Typically, if it's too soft, like a pillow that you're bringing underneath your hips, your body will squish it down. So you want something that has a little firmness to it, but also some softness for support, okay? So from here, we're gonna be here for just a few minutes. So let yourself settle in. We're gonna keep the knees bent because we will go into different variations after this. So let the arms just spill out, maybe down to your sides, maybe out from the shoulders, or if you want a little more opening through the chest and shoulders, the arms can also extend over your head. If at any point you feel the arms going numb or tingling, adjust them, okay? We don't want to affect the blood flow here. We want to keep everything flowing nice and good. Just focus on the rhythm of your breath in and out of your nose. Notice if your legs feel as though they're kind of swaying or wanting to fall in or out. And I want you to kind of adjust your feet until your legs feel a little more still, or just let them take the little bit of shape shifting that they do. try to release the urge to exude effort. Instead, embracing more of that sweet surrender here. Feel the breath moving through the belly, and slow it down as much as you can to really keep your attention and focus fully on what you're doing, with breathing. It should feel really nice on that lower back, especially a nice decompressing. Feel the spine melting down away from your hips, just kind of trickling towards the floor, getting that release and separation between the bones. 3 more breaths. Now we're gonna add on from here to target more into the hip flexors, all the way down into the quads, and just overall getting a nice elongation through the front side of the body. Start to lift your right foot up, drawing the knee up and in towards your chest. Now, this is why I want the block on one of the lower 2 settings as we adjust. So if you are on a higher setting first, adjust it down to a lower setting so we have a nice strong foundation to work from. If you're already there and you lift the knee and you're like, oh, I feel a little off balance, you can find your sacrum, really make sure it's behind the back side of the pelvis, nice and grounded. And then as you start to pull that right knee in towards your chest, you're gonna feel a nice little opening. Maybe you even feel into your right hips as you pull it in. But from here, walking the left foot forward in front of you, trying to straighten the leg out as much as you can. Maybe the leg fully straightens, okay? If it doesn't, it's okay, work where you are. Or if the knee's pulled too close to the chest, maybe back it off a little bit and then extend your left leg out longer. I like to keep the left leg active at first, especially as I'm getting into the position. So keep extending out through your left leg and start to pull your right knee closer and closer towards your chest. And as you pull it in, you're gonna create more and more of a stretch into the front of your left hip. Okay, if it feels good to stay right here where the foot is still grounded, but you're pulling in, feeling that stretch, stay. Sometimes it feels good to keep pulling and you almost feel like a little bit of a tipping point, where that left foot floats up, but it doesn't require effort to lift it up. It's just a balance shift. So as I shift that balance, the foot floats effortlessly, and then I can relax it just a little bit while keeping it fully extended and feel it settle. Now, as the leg settles, I want you to bring your awareness back to the upper body. And can you continue to hold the leg right where it is, but trying to relax more in through your shoulders, through your hands, through the arms, all the way into the elbows. Soften your face. Take about 5 or 6 more really deep breaths. Notice where that edge is. The breath is still smooth, strong, yet the sensation is very present. Last full breath here. Slowly release the pull on that knee, letting the left foot touch the ground, and then gently release the right foot back down to the ground. Walk both feet in with the knees bent. If it feels good, you can swing the knees a little bit side to side. There won't be too much movement with the hips lifting. All right. Then we'll come into that other side when you're ready. Once again, if you feel like you need to shake this out a little bit more, take that time for yourself to do so. Otherwise, as the knees come to center, left knee starts to lift to the chest this time, and the hands reach a hold of knee, shin, or thigh. Slowly pulling the knee in just a little bit, and then walking the right leg out nice and long. Once again, if you need to back out a little bit to get that leg straightened, do that. Once that right leg extends out, reaching the energy all the way through the foot and toes, then gauge the stretch by pulling the left knee closer and closer. Once again, it's okay if the foot stays heavy on the ground the whole time. As long as you feel the sensations, you're good. Maybe keep pulling it in until you feel that little teeter-totter, that lifting of the right foot. And then the relaxing all the way into the hip, melting a little bit through the leg. And then soften your upper body. Feel everything become a little more surrendered. Less effort is needed. And as you relax into this position, and you feel that nice elongation through the front of the right hip, slow your breath down, in and out of the nose, through the belly. Full expansion and release, and taking some of that tension away with you on each exhale. Take about 6 more deep breaths. Last breath here. Be very gentle, easy as you set the right foot down, backing out until both feet can set down. Walking both feet in. This time we're going to lift the hips. Actually, let's keep the hips here for a moment. Just little sways of the knees side to side. I'm going to work one last posture into the shape we're in. Okay, and I promise we won't get any extending through the hips. That was a lot, but feels so good. They become so tight and shortened from sitting and all the activities we do. Okay, when ready, lifting the feet up away from the ground. Once again, if you need to adjust your block first for more stability, do that first. We want a strong foundation. Arms can be anywhere, maybe even holding onto the block if you'd like. And then slowly extend your legs towards the ceiling. Try to get the heels over the hips, but the knees can be bent a little or a lot. It just depends on what feels better for your back. But that block should feel like a nice support underneath the hips as the legs elevate over your head. So this is a supported candlestick position. And just notice how it feels, that sensation like the blood is flowing down the legs. And imagine the tension trickling out of the feet. I like to visualize that we are consistently on our feet, or we're at least in upright positions, where gravity is constantly pulling down the body towards the feet, towards the floor. And in positions like this or other inversions, you get that reverse effect. You now get gravity pulling from the feet down the body towards the head. So just recognize how different it feels. Sometimes we can feel the heart beating through the legs. Slow the breath down. Sometimes we feel tension literally leaving the body. We can feel a nice release into the lower back. Give yourself 5 more slow breaths. Really expand through the belly. If you ever feel called to just open your mouth and sigh it out, do what feels good. Let's take one last breath together. And start to bend the knees. And then 1 foot at a time, set the feet to the ground. Keep the heels lifted as the balls of the feet set down. Press to the balls of the feet. Lift the hips slightly as you remove the block out of your way, slightly overhead so it's completely out of your way. Roll the spine back down to the ground. Heels touch. Just sway your knees side to side. Let's loosen up that space first. It might feel pretty tight, especially we were in that position for quite a while now. That was a good one. When your back feels ready, you can start to pull the knees towards your chest. Arms wrap around the legs, little sways here. All right, open the arms out from the shoulders, straight out to the sides, and set your feet to the ground. This next one, we don't really need props, but if you want to use your blanket or anything, there will be options for potential block usage, but for the most part, we should be good without. Separate the feet about the width of your mat and let your knees drape to the right side. Okay, so as the knees drape to the right side, if you feel pressure on your left knee or even your right knee, bring blocks underneath them and support them so that you don't feel the tension of gravity consistently pulling on the joints. We want to make sure they're supported, nice and grounded if we feel the tension. If you don't, and this just feels like a good position, great, just hang out here and enjoy it. Either way, once we have the proper support or sensations in the body, we can give ourselves permission to just let go. If you did want an extra little assist in the position, right foot on top of your left thigh will create just that, an added intensifier. Once again, honor your threshold. So if you get there and you're holding your breath or it feels super, super tight, release back off until you find your appropriate variation. And then just let your body be absorbed into that position. Slow your breath, eyes are closed, relax your jaw. Think 10 slow breaths. try to breathe down into the belly and the lower back versus your chest only. And if you do get yourself into a position like I just did, where the foot was on top and it starts to feel a little too intense after you've held it for a while, it's okay to come out of those variations as well. Just slightly start to back off until you feel an alleviation of that tension. Three more breaths. Now, if your foot is still on top, go ahead and bring it back down to the ground, slow and steady. Lifting the knees back up to center. Maybe use the hands for assistance if they feel really tight. And just little windshield wipers, nothing too crazy here. And the counter stretch to this one will just be the other side. So when ready, keep the feet the width of the mat, arms out to the sides. Let the knees drape to the left side this time. And already you'll feel a huge difference in sensations from that other side, especially as the hips just moved into the opposite rotation that they were in. Let yourself feel it out first. I try not to max out the position right away, but feel out a little bit at a time and let your body slowly invite you into the depth that it's asking for today. Sometimes we think we know, but when we actually pay attention to our bodies, we realize that often they like slightly different variations, or maybe to stop sooner or go a little deeper. And we only know when we draw that deeper level of awareness with ourselves. Close your eyes. Gain that awareness by really connecting to your breath. 8 more here. If you did want to slide the left foot on top, bring it there as a little bit anchor. But remember, once again, you can come out of it anytime you would like. You don't have to keep it anchored down. In and out of your belly, full expansive breath. Last breath here. If the foot's on top, bring it back down. Maybe use your hands for assistance as you lift the knees back through center. Little windshield wipers. And ultimately, I want you to move in the way that you want to move. So if windshield wipers are not it, do what is it. Okay, maybe that's pulling the knees to the chest or taking any variation. Just a few breaths to re-neutralize everything. rolling over to either side. Doesn't matter, coming into a fetal position, just so you can use the top hand and gently guide yourself all the way upright into a seat. Okay, so we're gonna turn sideways on our mats. I'm already facing the long side of my mat, so you'll wanna do the same thing. If you want to physically move your mat so you're facing towards me, you can do that, or you can just face sideways and kind of follow along, okay? So cross your legs with your right leg in front. We're gonna come into a 90-90 sit. Your blocks may come in handy, so you wanna have those nearby, as well as your blankets, okay? So just kind of have everything or all your props somewhere accessible. Now with the right leg in front, almost imagine you can create a 90-degree bend into that knee already, okay? Now you're gonna lean off onto that same side, your right side, and just start to extend your left leg out to the side with a nice 90-degree bend into that as well. So adjust it, try to find those angles, okay, and then flex through the ankles. If it kicks you over to the side a little bit, that's okay. Work where you are, perfectly fine, okay? But we wanna try to get a nice grounding from that right hip all the way through the thigh to the knee, and from the knee down the shin to the ankle and foot. So we have full support the whole way through. Now, if you want to take blocks in front of you, you can. I'm going to show you, then we'll kind of go into it together. Slowly, I'm going to start to fold over the right leg. Now, as I come forward, I might just stop here and be like, yeah, this is going to take a lot of weight into my hands and my arms to be in this position. And if that's the case, try to gather as many props as you can to try to release into this position, even if that's continuing to stack your palace here into whatever variation you can for support, okay? Otherwise, you slowly just start to work yourself closer and closer to the ground, with or without the props. Maybe you only need one block, maybe you need both, maybe you need more, maybe you need less, maybe you don't need anything at all and you just sink down towards the ground. But we're just gonna be here, let's say about 8 slow breaths. So try as best as you can to release effort and strength in your upper body. Even though we're stretching the lower body right now, the upper body is what's going to be tensed up to hold and support yourself in this shape. So that's why the props are here. The props are going to offer that support to your body so that your muscles don't have to do that job anymore. So if you aren't using your props because you're like, no, I'm fine right here, recognize that you're choosing muscular effort versus just surrender and letting go to where we can actually release into our hips, which is what we're trying to do. We're not trying to create unnecessary tension. So I'm going to lead the way by using props as well, and just slowly sink down onto them. And as you sink down onto your props, you'll notice that you're able to relax your shoulders and your arms a little bit more. You can relax your head and your neck a little bit more. And you just feel all the muscles start to soften and fall naturally into this shape. So if you're not familiar with what yin yoga is or what the objective is in this practice, it is not to just stretch the muscles, although we do get some stretching of the muscles as well. It is putting tension into the joints to build stronger and more supported joints. They do open, but we're not here to have flexible joints. We just want to make sure that we're creating space, strength, and support. So that's what we're doing, and we're not able to access into the joints, the fascia, the tendons, the ligaments, until we're able to soften and relax the muscles. So relaxing them completely will help us to tap in deeper into that inner webbing of the body. Let's take 3 more breaths, and if you feel like you can sink into this even just a little bit deeper, I want you to move into that next threshold. And then slowly walk up onto your hands. Now, just briefly, we won't be in it for too long. As you come up, you're gonna walk your hands continuously over to that right side and try to get your hands to either side of your mat, okay? So on each edge. And then create long spine here, extending from the hip to the waist, and then twist your ribs and chest to that right side. And just feel this here. We're gonna take about 5 breaths. You can either stay here or you can lower your forearms, but try to keep your body pointed out the length of that mat. So pointing out towards the top of your mat or bottom of your mat, whatever it is. Stay here or open up the elbows, lower deeper. One more deep breath. If you lower down, slowly come back up onto the hands. Then open up the chest to the left, drop the hand back, and swivel the knees to center. Just kind of rock them out a little bit here. That stretch feels so good on that lower side body, down into the QL. Okay, we're gonna do the other side. So if you have your props arranged on one side, you're gonna wanna move them to the other side in preparation. Cross the legs with the left leg in front. Try to find that 90-degree angle as best as you can, and then lean off to that left side, sweep the right leg off to the right. And then once again, setting up those angles, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Adjust, prop the hips, whatever you need to do. Nice long spine. Relax your feet, relax your legs. Slowly start to walk your weight over the left leg as much as you can. Use your props. This side might be needing something completely different, but try to release that muscular effort so that your entire body can surrender into the same shape, but have the proper support to hold you there. So I'm gonna grab my blocks, especially this side feels a little tighter for me. Blankets are nice, they're also cozy. And then start to relax in. Slow the breath down. Once again, it doesn't matter how deep you go into a pose. What matters are the sensations. What are you feeling in the position? And I like to give this cue often, but if you are honoring your own personal edge, and what I mean by that is stopping at your own threshold versus thinking you should force yourself into a deeper variation or do what this person's doing or whatever it may be. If we all just stopped at our variation or threshold in the position, no matter what pose we're in or variation we're in, we're all feeling the exact same sensation. So whether your chest is laying flat on the ground or you're coming all the way up and barely coming forward, that's okay. The sensation is the same. It's dependent on where the flexibility is in the body. And over time, as you continuously move into that next threshold, that next edge that your body gives you permission to, it feels the exact same. You just learn to let go and to surrender with it. Let's all take about 6 more deep breaths. You feel that you can go a little bit deeper. Let yourself go deeper. Make sure you can still take full breaths in and out of your nose. One more breath here. And then slowly coming all the way back up if you're folded. Once you're up, keep your legs. You're gonna slowly start to walk your hands off to that left side. Hands on either side of the mat. Find length into the spine on a breath in from the hips to the crown, and then rotate your ribs and chest to that left side. And then you can stay here, maybe continue to walk your hands down the length of the mat. Maybe lower one forearm or both. Maybe open up the elbows and start to lower closer to the ground. Just a few breaths. If you want to play with the angles and walk your right hand away a little bit, you can. Last breath here. And then walking back up onto the hands. And then sweep the right arm around to the back. Knees come back to center. And just little windshield wipers here. Alrighty. So I'm going to squeeze in my favorite pose right here at the end. So Shavasana might be cut a little short, but you can at least take that on your own at home a little bit longer if you'd like. So supported fish position. This one we want to use both of our blocks. You might want to use your blankets for cushion as well. And I'm going to give you a couple options, and this is all dependent on you and how you feel. But as I set up my blocks, think the block closest to you is going to support on the upper back, right below your shoulder blades. And then the second block is gonna support your head, right? So you're gonna have this natural lift. So right now, notice the blocks are level with each other. So there's gonna be more of a leveling and support here, okay, as you recline back. If you angle the one above where the head goes to be higher, you're creating more of a ramp. So as you lay back, a little less emphasis on laying flat, a little bit more of that upward lift. You also have the option of lowering the head closer to the ground, or adjusting the one behind the heart lower, or getting rid of the one behind the head altogether, okay? This is gonna create more of a rainbow effect, which is gonna emphasize more of a depth of the heart opener, okay? So please pick the variation that's suitable for you, and if you get into it and you're like, holy moly, this is too much, back off, totally fine. We're only gonna be here for a few minutes, okay? So set this up however you feel is most appropriate for you, and if you wanna set your blanket over this here, set your blanket over, and then you'll have a little extra support as you lie back. So lying back here, I'm gonna scoot forward as much as I need to until I feel that first block underneath the shoulder blades. Try not to have it push into the shoulders. And then the hands can reach overhead as you grab a hold of that second block and bring it behind the back of your head. So feel it out. If you're like, nah, I want a little bit more, lower the head as much as you like. If you want less, maybe lower the heart or lift the head. And then let your legs take any shape that they want. Any variation, just let your body kind of intuitively call you into that position. The arms rest. I like them down to the sides, letting the chest melt open. Once again, we're only going to be here for a few breaths. So just let yourself enjoy it. This one feels really good, and especially as we spend so much of our time curled like a little cashew, this is going to be that nice adjustment to open up in that reverse position, to feel the shoulders naturally falling down the back away from the ears. And more of that expanding through the front of your body. That vulnerability as you just open up. I'll go ahead and fall silent here, allowing you to just enjoy. Take about 5 more deep breaths. Now, depending on where you are in this position, you're going to bend the knees and walk the feet in regardless. If your blocks are pretty close to the ground, it might feel good just to roll over to your side in a fetal position. Otherwise, chin to chest as you press the elbows into the ground, walking them back. And then grounding through the hands, walk the hands back and press yourself all the way up. And just round over your legs. If you come out from this position, let yourself kind of hang out here for a moment. If you're on your side, you can stay right there. Just another breath. And then as you lift the head all the way up, we're going to take the blocks and we're going to bring them underneath the backs of the knees. We're only going to take Shavasana for maybe a couple minutes. So if you want Shavasana longer, this is a great time to hit pause, okay? And then you can start it back up whenever you're ready. So if you're pausing it here, just enjoy your Shavasana and thank you for joining me. Otherwise, let's come on back. So once the knees are supported, I like them in the toaster setting, but you can have them on the lower setting as well if that feels better. Let your body sink back, let your arms fall out into any position that feels good. And as the eyes cradle back, we're just going to take one nice sigh out through the mouth to help us release whatever is still lingering inside. So let's all just meet on an exhale. Slow breath in. Open your mouth and release. And just let yourself rest here. Let yourself be more calm, more grounded. No tension at all in the body. No sensations aside from the stillness and the calm that comes from being right here. Enjoy. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Find movements in your fingers and in your toes. Rock your head side to side. And then stretch your arms over your head. Stretch all the way down your legs to the feet. If you have the blocks underneath the knees, sometimes it feels good to press the legs into the blocks, peel the hips off the ground, and then bring it all the way back down. Let's draw the knees to the chest, wrap the arms around the legs, rock left and right a couple times. And just roll off to your side into fetal position, pressing through the top hand. Take your time to slowly come all the way back up to a seat. Any comfortable seat is just fine. Close the eyes, lift the spine, hands together at heart center. And just set an intention for the rest of your day or your evening, whatever time of day it is, and just carry it with you. Feel the body and just be grateful for it exactly as it is. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you today. Namaste. Thanks to all of you who tuned in and stayed for this practice. I hope your body feels amazing. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments or any suggestions for future classes you might enjoy. Like I said, this is a different approach than my other movement-based practices, so we'll kind of bounce around and have different variations of offerings as well. Don't forget to hit subscribe, share with a friend you think may enjoy, and thank you so much once again. Enjoy your day.